Ultimate Christmas Song Rich list including artist who makes £1 million a year from #1 hit, and it's not Mariah Carey. Shane MacGowan's estate will no doubt be boosted this Christmas as Fairy Tale of New York rockets up the charts. Fans of the legendary Irish punk rocker, who died from pneumonia age 65 last month, have been leading the charge in a campaign to get it to the top of the charts this year as a fitting final tribute. Despite the track topping almost every list of the best Christmas songs, it has never been a #1 hit. It was beaten in 1987 by the Pet Shop Boys' song You Were Always on My Mind. Fairy Tale of New York was first released in 1982 and peaked at #2 in 1987, but may finally have a good chance of taking the crown. If it can fend off the competition, royalties could exceed £500,000, which would be split between Shane's estate and fellow songwriter and bandmate Jim Finer. But they won't be the only ones benefiting from the endless loops of Christmas classics you can't get away from at this time of year. Despite the track topping almost every list of the best Christmas songs, it has never been a #1 hit. It was beaten in 1987 by the Pet Shop Boys' song You Were Always on My Mind. Fairy Tale of New York was first released in 1982 and peaked at #2 in 1987, but may finally have a good chance of taking the crown. If it can fend off the competition, royalties could exceed £500,000, which would be split between Shane's estate and fellow songwriter and bandmate Jim Finer. But they won't be the only ones benefiting from the endless loops of Christmas classics you can't get away from at this time of year. It stood the test of time since then, re-entering the charts each year, and making a pretty penny for the pair who wrote and composed it. Today Naughty, 77, has started performing again, 6 years after he was told he had only 6 months to live after a diagnosis of esophageal cancer. Naughty, worth around £25 million, signed up to a chemotherapy trial which saved his life. The Pogues and Kirsty MacColl, Fairy Tale of New York. Annual royalties, £400,000. Total since release, £14.4 million. The duet was performed at Shane's funeral by Glenn Hansard and Lisa Danielle as his family danced in the aisles. The 1987 song tells the story of a couple arguing on Christmas Eve in New York City. It was written by Shane and Jim, who said the song started out as a bet when the Irish band's producer at the time, Elvis Costello, joked they'd never been able to write a Christmas single. Jim, 68, is an artist and musician with an interest in reconfiguring old technologies. It's not a blank, vacuous celebration of fun and overconsumption, rather a human story that many people can probably relate to, he said of the song. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Annual royalties, £400,000. Total since release, £11.6 million. Mariah might not want a lot for Christmas, but why would she when this track makes her millions? The song, which has appeared in hit films like Love Actually, has become a festive earworm since its release in 1994. When I wrote it, I had absolutely no idea the impact the song would eventually have worldwide, Carey said in 2021. I'm so full of gratitude that so many people enjoy it with me every year. She's probably equally as grateful for the £11 million it's added to her fortune of £270 million. Wizard, I wish it could be Christmas every day. Annual royalties, £180,000. Total since release, £9 million. Wizard were a rock band formed by Roy Wood, a former member of The Move and co-founder of the Electric Light Orchestra. Their biggest track, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, was released in 1973 and performed on Top of the Pops. Famously, it peaked at #2 in the charts after losing out to Slade in a battle of the true Christmas classics. Roy, 77, is still bringing the festive magic with his event Rockmas, which this year stars features Paul Young. Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas. Annual royalties, £200,000. Total since release, £7 million. Although this song was released in 1986 as a non-album single, it didn't capture the public's attention for another 2 years, climbing to the #1 spot at Christmas 1988. But all these years later it still gives families a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. It's also given Chris's bank balance enough of a boost to charter a private jet instead of driving. Jonah Lewis, Stop the Cavalry. Annual royalties, £120,000. Total since release, £5.4 million. Jonah, whose real name is John, says that thanks to the success of Stop the Cavalry in 1978, he now just tinkers around in his studio. The song is an anti-war protest starting "Hey Mr. Churchill comes over here." He admits he didn't intend it to become a festive song. "I absolutely did not sit down with the idea of writing a big Christmas hit. I don't think I would have been able to." Jonah added that it provides half of his back catalog income. Shakin' Stevens' Merry Christmas Everyone. Annual royalties, £140,000. Total since release, £5.32 million. Welsh singer and songwriter Michael Berry had a hit number 1 with Merry Christmas Everyone, not to be confused with the near-identically named Slade song, in 1985. Poor old Shaky himself only gets a small fraction of the £140,000 royalties though, as the key in the writing. He picks up about £10,000, but the man behind the lyrics, Bob Heatley, pockets a whopping £130,000 a year. East 17, Stay Another Day. Annual royalties, £97,000. Total since release, £2.81 million. Boy band members Brian Harvey, Tony Mortimer, John Hindi, and Terry Coldwell's iconic video for this chart-topping song saw them trekking through the snow in white fur coats. After the song was released in 1994, Tony spoke of how he wrote it after losing his brother Ollie to suicide, but changed it into a love song about losing a partner. Glitter Hall Strictly's Ellie Leach tipped to host top BBC show Be Millionaire by 24 thanks to savvy decision after Corey exit. She was known as Corey's troubled teen Faye Windass and joked that she hadn't smiled for 12 years on the cobbles. But Ellie Leach has been lighting up the Strictly ballroom with her energetic routines since week 1. Fans have loved watching her sparkle more each week, and the 22-year-old, who started as an underdog, is now hot favorite to lift the Glitterball trophy in Saturday's Strictly final. Brandon culture expert Nikki told The Sun she has all the makings of a huge star on stage and screen, and is on track to make her first million within 2 years. And it helps she's kept everyone on their toes thanks to the rumor mill being in overdrive due to her close relationship with Italian dancer Vito Coppola, Nick added. Her and Vito have caused water cooler moments for fans throughout the competition, he said. If she really is seeing Vito, then they could be the next hot couple, like Gorka and Jenna Atkinson, and I can see them doing lots of personal appearances and performances. Ellie's up against very strong competition, but she looks set to be a winner no matter who gets the title this weekend. Ellie, who landed her choreo role aged 10, had no previous dance experience when she took to the Strictly floor with partner Vito. But she has wowed the judges, never scoring less than 30, and bagged a near-perfect 39 for her Elegant American Smooth in Week 7 and her Love Machine Charleston and Blackpool. Nick said, Strictly viewers have watched her gain her confidence week on week to be a serious competitor. Relatively unknown as she was, and seen as a child star in Corey, she's blossomed to become a sensational dancer and an audience favorite. Ellie, who was a teen mom on Coronation Street, bowed out of the soap earlier this year, and Nick said going straight into Strictly was a shrewd move. They say when one door closes another one opens, and for Ellie this door is huge and covered in glitter, with movie star lights all around it, he said. While the BBC is reportedly lining her up to star in one of its soaps, Nick said he can see Ellie landing a big West End role. Ellie is a great actress, and has been nominated for lots of soap awards, he said. She's proven to be a fabulous dancer, so I can see her making the transition to starring on stage in a West End show. Now that she's shrugged off the child star preconception, she will be offered other roles and perhaps even find herself swapping the cobbles for the square and starring opposite fellow finalist Bobby Brazier and the Queen Vic. Other former Strictly winners have bagged successful stage shows, like sports presenter Oro Dube and Kimberly Walsh. Her raised profile could also lead to more drama roles, like former EastEnders star Cara Thornton, who won in 2010 and was recently seen in the ITV Drama Archie. With her star in the ascendant, Nick reckons Ellie could find herself presenting a BBC flagship show, like Helen Skelton, who now fronts Morning Live, and Fleur East, who's a regular on Strictly's sister show It Takes Two. She could also up her Instagram following, currently at 333k, and cash in as brands flock to offer her collaborations. Nick said, "Ellie's become a household name and the BBC won't want to let her go, so I can imagine a show like Morning Live will snap her up to get the younger demographic watching, as she's only 22. She's full of life and vibrancy, which makes her a star talent." Ellie has a very strong social media following, and with her fabulous figure and movie star looks, fashion and beauty brands will be snapping her up for campaigns. "I can see her earning over $500,000 in a year with brand deals, personal appearances and presenting in TV roles." Gemma Collins admitted she doesn't give a ass about calories over Christmas and said she's proud of her real figure after being cruelly body shamed. The reality TV star, 42, said she's pressed pause on her fitness journey for now as she's struggling to find the motivation during the winter. Gemma, who stripped off for the real Full Monty this week, said she's a bigger girl but insisted that her body looks great after she recently hit back at fat shamers. Speaking exclusively to The Sun, Gemma said, "I don't leave the house in the winter, I don't move. The only thing I do is walk the dog. Apart from the odd walk and a swim, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy my Christmas like everyone else. You might see me bust out a sweat in the new year, as soon as the weather gets better, I get more inclined to do it, but when it's like this, just minimal walking is kind of what I can do. I'm going to be honest, I just don't have the motivation in the winter." The ex-Southeast star revealed exactly what a Christmas looks like in the GC household, and it includes cracking open a bottle of Louis Roederer champagne in the morning. She told us, "I don't give a hun, I don't calorie count anyway. I'll be eating that Terry's chocolate orange." She laughed, "We don't drink Prosecco in the GC house, I can't stand Prosecco, I find it too sweet. We wake up, Mum and Dad will be over. We crack open a bottle Louis Roederer, exchange some gifts and have a little chat, put the Christmas carols on. Dad's going to cook this year, which I'm really looking forward to because other years I've had chefs and all of that. We're just reining it back, we just want a bit of normality." Gemma then said she's happy with her figure now and was proud to represent real women on the ITV show, where 10 brave celebs dared all to raise awareness of all types of cancer and shared their individual and family heartache along the way. Gemma continued, "I just fully went for it. It was all about the body confidence and letting people feel that if they're bigger, they can still go on and shake their tush, and just constantly putting that positive message out there. I had no worries or insecurities beforehand, the cause overpowered, even if there was a little niggle, but we had taken our bra off so many times and done the dance so many times before the final show that it kind of like drinking a cup of tea." She added, "Do you know what, constantly when you're on TV you're worrying about this, worrying about that, am I fat? Do I look young? And so on. This is me now, people want more realness now. My body looked great, yeah, I'm a bigger girl, but I looked fine on there. Everyone comes in different shapes and sizes, so it's just highlighting that as well, that it's okay to have boobs that are different from each other." Said she'll be stripping off in more bikinis in the new year and revealed her new business plan. "Yeah, I really would love to bring out a swimwear collection for plus-size beauties for next year, for sure." Gemma was forced to slam trolls who fat-shamed her. Reflecting on meeting the King and Queen earlier this year, Gemma opened up about the abuse she has received and hoped it would motivate others who have experienced similar negativity. She wrote, "You are a split second away from always changing the direction of your life. I hope this video inspires you." A girl from Romford who was invited to meet the King and Queen. "Make all your dreams come true daily, we have one life. Enjoy it and go for it. And to all the people along the way who told me no, spoke rubbish about me, said unkind things, brands who said I was too fat, talent agencies who said you need to lose weight, we don't want you on our books or websites, people who gossip about me or run me down or abuse me on socials. Thank you." Gemma continued, "Because I always followed my own path and all the no's made me stronger. I don't see the king or queen inviting you. My point is, the worst anyone is going to say is no. Yes, it can knock your self-esteem or confidence for a split second, but remember who you are inside in your dream. And it shall always overcome. Despite being a domestic goddess, Nigella has revealed how she hates ironing. She dislikes it so much, that the TV chef doesn't even own an ironing board, opting for a steamer instead. Speaking to Zoe Ball on BBC Radio 2, she revealed, "I steam, I don't iron. And as you can see, I'm not a particularly uncrumpled person in my natural state." She added, "Also, I seem to have bits of cake batter on my sleeve." Nigella also revealed that, apart from ironing, she also hates wrapping Christmas presents. She said, "It's just that I'm so incompetent that everything goes wrong. I always have bits of hair stuck under the sellotape, it's a nightmare. My late husband John always used to say I was the only person who could wrap up a book and make it look like it was a bottle of wine." It comes as Nigella revealed that we've all been eating mince pies wrong for years. She claimed there is a surprising ingredient we should be pairing with not only mince pies, but Christmas cake too. Speaking on BBC's The One Show, host Jermaine Jenas took the opportunity to give Nigella's advice on festive food for December. He said to Nigella, "At the top of the show we tease the fact that you say that Christmas cake, that everyone loves on Christmas Day, should be eaten with cheese. We were on board with it, our socials and inboxes have gone crazy in agreement with you." Nigella gushed about the unusual mix, saying, "Quite right. There is a bit of North-South divide, and even though I am a soft Southerner, I am very much with the North on this." Jermaine agreed, saying, "It's the way forward." Fellow host Alex Jones asked Nigella what type of flavors go best with the Christmas cake, and the foodie replied, "Tangy, you want something sharp and crumbly, a Lancashire also good." Wensleydale cheese was also recommended as a top pairing to go with the fruity cake,